Why you run when we come? You niggas run. Streets got me hungry. Why you run when we come? You niggas run. Streets got me hungry, nigga.
I'm walking through the darkness. I'm just searching for the light.
Man, I've known G probably 30, almost 40 years, man. You know, when I first came to this country, you know, I grew up in London. You know, my family's from Jamaica, so one of the first dudes I met when I came to the States. And you know, ever since then, we just been real tight. You know, he's a brother to me, and we've been through a lot together. His character, man, him as a person. You know, I ain't really that. You know, I don't hold on to people too much because people are funny. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this dude, man, he's always been a high character guy. You know, everything that pretty much anything he's ever said he was gonna do, he did it. And I never had to really, man, backtrack on him, man. So yeah, man, we've been in this a long time. That's my brother, man. I would say around early to mid '90s, man. You know, we were, you know, we were young, getting money, you know, and you know, around that time, you know, that's when a lot of independent labels were popping up. You had Death Row coming to fruition, you had Bad Boy coming into fruition, and we were connected with a lot of guys that had a lot to do with the Bad Boy thing. So it was only natural for us to kind of, you know, use our resources, use our connects, you know, our influence, and try to build our own thing. So he came up with it, and it's funny because, you know, both of us kind of had a different track, but he was like, nah, this is what we need to do. And I said, all right, let's do it. So, you know, I joined forces with him, and, you know, we were able to kind of put some stuff together, get a good buzz, you know, going on the streets. One of the things that, you know, G and I, the reason why we're able to work together so well, because we have different talents. We're able to, you know, he's the one that's going to listen to the music, sit in the studio all night. I'm not going to do it. But I can sit at the boardroom table. I can deal with the lawyers. I can deal with the label execs. And that's really what my role has always been. G spent most of the time with us, right? Like I said, I drop in the studio, I listen, whatever. But like I said, you know, everything was, after the music was done, AD, how we going to get this to radio? How we going to do this? How we going to do that? But because I talked to him, I understood what he was going through. I mean, these dudes, man, you know, like I said, without telling dudes business, man, Mo was just, Mo is ODB. No other way to put it. Mo is old, dirty, bastard, period. So if you can kind of, you know, understand that, that's all he was. And that's who he was, man. So if you know what went along with that, God rest his soul, you know what I'm saying? Pray for him, you know, thankfully Mo's still around, you know. But I mean, he was literally ODB, man. You know, ODO, talented young brother, very talented, right his ass off, man. You know, Mun just had the slickest delivery I ever heard for a DC dude. It was reality music, man. Because it wasn't cut. It wasn't, you know, like I said, it wasn't no baby powder on it, man. It wasn't no inositol on that thing. It was straight, it was raw. It was raw. And a lot of times, you know, that just hit the vein of the people. You know, like I said, we could do shows in the city, man, and people would just lose their minds, man.
All we gotta do is pump all night long. Brick tip, all the seagulls. Show money, bring, show gram. Lock down, stand. Every day in the park, the shit is bomb. Motherfucking watch blowing up all night long.
you know, it was like pure heroin. You know, it hit the vein of the street, and they was just, man, they ate it up. Because, like I said, it was the realest, some of the realest lyrics you could have ever heard.
Like Machiavelli laid the unseen paths of the natural born killers that be the true street niggas, them fortified to life true thug niggas. This is where you sleep, get slept, and all fake niggas lose breath. This is where you duct tape at will, when you draw steel, you kill. In the streets, beating burial ground, every day we rollin' smoking, choking out an enemy for his cash, fill him up with hoes in their dash.
And all